Hello and welcome to 18WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter, and today we're going to talk about RSVP, what it is, what they do. And joining us in the studio is the director for RSVP in this area, and that is Becky Beckman. Becky, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
I think, first of all, let's find out what is RSVP and how are you structured under TRICAP?
Okay. First of all, going back to 1965 and the Older Americans Act. They appropriated money for different things like senior centers, meal programs, Meals on Wheels started, job training, all these different things. And then there was a little part for senior volunteerism. So RSVP is a sister program to foster grandparents and senior companions. And we're under the Corporation for National Community Service. We're a federal program. So TRICAP picked us up in 1972. So we have been in DuBois, Pike, and Warwick County since 1972. RSVP is for anybody over 55 years of age. There's no membership fee. It's not a club. Okay. It's strictly seniors giving back to their communities. And first of all, the ways that will self-fulfill the individual volunteer, but also with groups on group projects or even different things throughout the community and different organizations that you relate to. So we help people find places to volunteer, but we also support the organizations that have senior volunteers.
You said the retired senior volunteer programs for 55 and older. Now, I guess years ago that was considered old. That's not really old anymore. So folks can still be part of it while they're in their youth.
Absolutely.
I'm still in my youth.
Yeah, well,
yes.
It's funny because I've been with this program now since 2001, and in that time, I've become a senior citizen. Okay. So, then I get to learn about Medicare and everything. So, but when TRICAP picked that up, and people 55 then, is totally different than what that is today.
Right.
It's a different group. It's a different mentality about volunteering and the need to give back, the need, what our community needs from seniors that they have so much expertise in to be able to give back.
Well, so RSVP in a way is helping two people. Two groups. One is whoever you do the volunteer work for benefits from the efforts that you do. But those who volunteer get a certain kind of fulfillment that, as you have more time on your hands, you don't want to get lost or isolated.
Right. And as the obligations for seniors, because we'll see, say, the socioeconomics of high child care and young parents struggling to pay this child care, where more and more seniors, when they're retiring, they're doing that for their kids, picking up the kids after school, running them around during the summer. Well, that cuts into the time then that they would be maybe doing a volunteer project or whatever. So some duties have changed. People are working longer themselves, not exactly retiring right at a certain age, So it's been very interesting to recruit and just hear people going, I'm just plain worn out. I don't know when I'd fit that in. Well, we've got little ways we can fit things in. So,
well, how does an individual benefit themselves personally? Because I guess, if you're 70 years old and you just are alone at home, I could see where you could get more and more isolated.
Right. We're hearing that. We're hearing that quite a bit, and that's some of the things we work on as a member of the community. I'm on different committees. One of them, the DuBois County Public Health Partnership, on their aging concerns and their mental health committees, because there's a focus on seniors who are struggling, maybe active all of their life, and now they're home and retired, and it's harder to get out of the house. So when you don't have something to look forward to every day, as far as your group getting together, where it's having coffee at a local burger joint or being involved with your church or whatever group, and as you age and you lose your buddies, it's tougher and tougher, and we're finding out isolation and just plain loneliness makes it harder to even get out of the house. You may recognize that in yourself, but it's just harder to do it.
Because the more you become isolated, right. And it's harder to get yourself out. So you are not a club. that
No.
people join and pay a membership to.
No.
So is there meetings? How are you structured in that way? How do people participate? What do they do? Do they have to sign up?
There is an application to fill out, and I do some checking. We have to be very careful, especially if volunteers are helping with our Head Start program, working with vulnerable ages, so school children or even elderly, homebound visits. We have to do the criminal history checks and everything, so we're bound by all of that. But filling out an application and me talking with people just to see what they like to do. There's many. I have a whole group of people say, I'll try anything once, and then I'll let you know whether I liked it or not, you know.
Okay.
And I said, that's great, because we're taking on new things all the time. The needs change. The community needs change, so we have to change with it. When I started years ago, quilting was unbelievable. I probably had 100 quilters. Now I'm down to about 25. That whole art making and folklore and all that has changed. It's something that I hate to say, but at some time that's not going to be. It's going to, it's going to wear itself out or whatever. So we have to come up with new activities. And there's many people who like to do crafts, or through different churches they'll do, maybe they'll make Afghans or whatever and sit around. It's all about the socialization and people being with others and sharing like activities,
So it's really not things like going around and cleaning up the park or parking cars at a social event. It's more getting together, making Afghans that are then sold out to somebody to help an organization.
There's some things that my volunteers just don't want to do anymore. I'll get calls from people going, boy, my mom and dad could really use a sitter, just somebody. Well, these seniors, some may because they're a friend or part of a church group or something that, that's what they do. But they're in that state themselves. Or they don't want to go clean somebody's house. That would be a nice neighborly thing to do, but that's not something my group will push, that we offer that. I would love somebody to come clean my place,
Right.
But, so there's some things that because we're volunteers, some people think we do anything. And I'm like, no, we don't. The largest majority of my volunteers are in food security projects. As those numbers have changed. When I started, maybe I had 25 people working at food banks. Now I have over 100 people in food banks, community meals, doing backpack buddy projects, because it's increasing. The number experiencing food insecurity has increased. So that is one of our community needs, that we have to watch those numbers. In the state of Indiana, 15.6 of our children are food insecure. So if you've got a classroom of 30 kids, and Du Bois County is no different, there's 4 to 5 kids don't know if there's a meal tonight or tomorrow. This is Du Bois County. It's happening here too. So we help with the Backpack Buddy project that in schools they'll send a kid home with a little bag of, and I have to say, not the most nutritional, but it does fill the belly, and we get them through the weekend.
And so it's RSVP folks that are getting together in a room and
Yes.
packing the bags.
Yes. And we work through that, then is through the community meal project. So actually St. Joe's is over that and getting donations, and it filters on down. We're one of many volunteer groups that help, because they're kids doing confirmation hours or need some, something to look good on their resume for something, or doing volunteer hours and everything. So we're one of the groups. But, mine love it. But it took a few times for them to understand, so why do we need to do this? So to explain why we do what we do, because we have this understanding in certain counties and everything that we don't have this problem. Yes, we do.
Yep.
We have people who are hungry.
So folks that are watching, if they go, I think I'd like to be involved in it, but I only have so much time, or I've got a whole lot of time, or I only want to do this sort of work. Will that work for them? What do they
Sure.
do? Contact
and
you?
that's something we can talk through
Okay.
and see what I have available. Or I will make other calls to other organizations and say, can you use this, and does this time frame work out? We'll try to work that out. So a few times a year, say we do medication collections twice a year on a Saturday. That'll some people then that have Saturdays open that don't usually have time during the week. So, you know, there's a lot of different special projects.
So there's things that they can fit into. They just need to really contact you to find
Right,
out.
right.
And if somebody is interested in RSVP, or I guess if an organization would like the help of RSVP,
Right.
they should contact you?
Absolutely.
And how do they do that?
Becky Beckman at TRICAP, 812-482-2233, extension 112. Or my email is becky@tricap, tri-cap.net.
Okay, so they can
Pretty
reach you.
easy.
That. Yeah, pretty.
Yes.
Probably
Just
the
give me
easiest
a
thing is
call.
just to see you somewhere and say, hey, I want to be part of that RSVP
Absolutely.
program.
You know, and it's funny because Nancy Eckerly with the chamber will call saying, hey, we need to count Stress of Fest buttons and put them in a bag so they can take them all around town. Or we gather the ducks from the duck race and they're all dried off, so we put them in the bags and pack them up for the year. So there's fun little projects that, especially for people that maybe they don't get around so well anymore, it's hard, but they can go into the chamber office and sit there for an hour with their friends and get the work done. So there we go.
So there's a really important mental health that it helps with that, because it's always
Absolutely.
good to be around people
Yeah.
and to be doing something at the same time that is helping others.
Right.
It feels good about it.
The push is really because doing good is good for you, and they
There you
keep
go.
pushing that. Not only mental health, physically, everything. It just helps to go out and laugh a lot. You know,
You're right.
Life's pretty
Right.
tough. So when you can go with your friends and just laugh and have a good time and do something that you feel good about.
And so being a senior, you're retired, you're at home, you have time, spend a little time helping with the RSVP without joining a club or really an obligation of
Yes,
any kind.
absolutely.
Now I'm going to ask you one odd question. Is there a connection between RSVP and the Older American Center? And if so, what is that connection? Or
Carrie and I, Carrie Dick at the Older American Center, and I partner on different projects. And maybe I'll use the Older American Center for some of my projects or whatever. But we were both born out of the Older Americans Act. So we both became, you know, around the same time. The City of Jasper and the Park and Rec Department, the Older American Center is under them. But they also get funding through the county because they serve countywide. So it's a unique partnership that way. RSVP in the same way because we have like people. We both serve seniors. We match up quite a bit. But there is a definite difference.
okay, so if you were a senior, get something to do, but getting out of the house, and all year long, I'd imagine, different times, different
Yes.
projects, different things, and there's
Yep.
always something going on. Contact Becky at TRICAP and find out how you can be part of RSVP. What a great organization. I know I've heard that name forever.
Yes.
I remember when my mother was involved in that and the things that happened. It's great to put yourself in a situation where you can help others and yet help yourself in a way too.
Exactly. It's wonderful. And that it's fun to go to work when you're working with people who are happy, because when they go to bed at night, they look forward to what they're going to be doing the next day. And they come and they're excited and they're fun to be with. I said, I just have the perfect job here.
Well, let's hope it continues for
Yes.
you, Becky. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our guest has been Becky Beckman. She is the director of the RSVP program through TRICAP. RSVP is Retired Senior Volunteer Program. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for watching WJTS. We're local people watching local people.